Welcome to Get Biz, Do Biz, Get Pay. I am your host, Luan the Don. We're gonna find out what it really takes to win in the construction industry. What it really takes to make a lot of money, have a great life, and be able to do the thing that you wanted to do. Enjoy. So my main thing is deck building and running a company and scaling a company and you know, doing everything in the front end of the business. That's mean client acquisition, marketing, branding, service recovery, anything that has to do with finance and marketing, sales, branding. I am an expert at. I had many mentors throughout the short 4 years that was in business that have taught me a lot of things, showed me a lot of way, a lot of their mistake that they had already made. And my goal here today is to give you the most condensed, concise information that I think that is going to help you in search of scaling your business. Okay, so let's jump right into it. Uh, we are in 2025, and I've talked to a lot of contractor, and there is a lot of different idea of what's going on. Is the market being scrunch? Is the tariff slowing everything down? Is all this is going to affect me as a business owner? Is going to affect me as a contracting business? And I'm here to tell you that none of that matters. What matters is your process, your lead intake process. And most of the time that we think that client acquisition is just about running a bunch of ad, getting a bunch of people to click on your ad, and then just pre-qualify them and only go out to the people who has money to do business with us. So I want you to widen your horizon out and think long term. Every lead that come into to your business is a good lead. It might not be a good lead right now, but it might be a good lead later on. So even though we can't service, there's no such thing as tire kicker. Let's have a definition about tire kicker. Tire kicker is when we can't sell, when we can't convert people, and then when we waste time, or we think we waste time talking to that person that have interest in our business, we call them tire kicker. But let's reframe that to lead that we can service right now and lead that we can't service right now. So it's all about us, right? It's all about what we can control. So the person who might say no to you today, maybe because you didn't have the skills to convert them, maybe you didn't have financing, maybe you didn't have provide enough value for them to exchange the money to you. So therefore they're not tie kicker, they're buyer but not buying you right now. So once we reframe that, we can start treating every lead as an opportunity, whether or not it's now or later. It doesn't matter, it's still an opportunity. So I see a lot of contractors do this. Their phone ring. I'll give you an example. Their phone ring, 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 ring. Hey, it's Lon from Deck Pro. How can I help you? Well, we're just looking for some repair. I don't know what's going on with my deck. La da la da. Oh, we don't do repair. Blah 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 blah. We only build new decks, or that's just too small of a job for us. And then what we do is we click, we hang up. So I think of it in a different way. I think of it as somebody called me. I would get a name, get their address, get their get their email, get their phone number, because later I can retarget those people. Maybe they don't. Maybe they want to repair right now. Maybe you can't help them right now. You would refer them out to a handyman or whatever. But that is still in your database later. Maybe a repair turn into a full deck replacement. Maybe a patch of concrete turn into a full driveway 2 or 3 years later. Maybe you can't even service them. Maybe they don't do anything. But here's what's nice about marketing and getting your database right. 2 or 3 years later, you run a funnel. Hey, did you happen to get the project done? Did you happen to get your deck fixed? And that would reactivate all these people who might not be proud. That's very given point in time to do business with you, because the people who are ready to do business with you, they're only about 3 to 5% people at the bottom of the funnel. And if we don't take the time to get these middle of the funnel or top of the funnel, the people that just starting, the people that just become problem aware, we're leaving so much money on the table. So my first recommendation is treat every inquiry like it's your last one, right? Intake the lead properly. The two things that I want you to get is phone number and email. If you can't get other thing, guess those two things. And what are they wanting done, right? Why do I ask that? The type of scope that people wanting done, that reaching out to me wanting done, that will tell me if my marketing message is hitting or not. If I'm deck building, if I build new deck, I don't do repair, I don't do staining, but all of a sudden I got a lot of staining lead coming into my ad, which is I spend money on that, right? My messaging is bad. It's not a bad lead, it's just bad messaging. You have to intake that into, hey, what are you wanting done? And I can promise you this: most people don't need more lead, they just need better lead intake. So through that, now that you have good lead intake, that is a second component to this that I seen it from new business time and time and time and time again, where we lose out easy money. And what I mean by that is speed to lead, right? That's the second thing, the easiest, the simplest, let me rephrase it, the simplest to implement, but it's the hardest to also implement. It's simple, but it's not easy. Speed to lead, because I had just helped my father-in-law start a concrete business. I ran some ad for him, whatever, get some interest, and then I just did a pipeline review with him, and he probably lost out about 6 jobs because he didn't get to that lead in time. And here's what happened: you call them once, they don't answer, but you didn't text them. You didn't have a system to write things down to where, oh, did I call that person or did I not? You didn't have another way for them to easy to get back out to you. You didn't send them an email. You didn't send them a text. You didn't have open more line of communication to them. So, they don't know who you are, right? So the next person call, it just happened to call when they are available. They pick up a phone, they set an appointment, they go out, they sold the job, and a week or two later on, you went and you go to your list. Oh, well, I decided to go with somebody else. You're too late. You're too slow. So the second thing, first, good lead intake. Second thing is speed to lead, right? First to the table, get your bill in full. And I get it. There is this another school of thought in the construction industry that well, if they don't pay my price, they're not my customers. Sure. If they I don't have enough time to go out and see every lead. I only want the people who want to buy. Sure. And I totally get it. I was that contractor that couldn't go see everybody. I was that contractor pre-qualify people based on price. I was that contractor that, well, I told them 17,000 to 24,000. They say it's too much money. So I just didn't go out to see them. I was that contractor, but sure, you can be that contractor. But based on my knowledge and based on a lot of people that I talk to around the industry, you can't scale that way. The reality is, if you keep pre-qualified people based on price, and you want to sell at a high price, and you want to sell your value at a high price, and you don't want people to have objection, oh man, who are you, God? No, there's no way in hell you can scale like that. So if you are doing that, be ready to be in the sub $1 million. A sub million, you might sell a job or two, maybe 2 million, a job or two a week, pre-qualify everybody. But But then what you ended up having to do is you're having to spend a lot of money on marketing to get these 20 leads in just so you can cherry pick one or two. So your true conversion rate from lead to conversion maybe only 10%. Whereas if somebody went and see out of that 9 or 10 lead, they go out and see 7 or 8 lead, they get 7 bid out. And they only need to close 3 or 4 of those leads. Their conversion rate and their close rate is already double. So by the fact of making yourself available to go see all the people who are interested in what you do. And the easy way to do that is pre-qualify by scope. If you don't want to do something, that's fine. Don't go see that person. But if that person, that prospect, come in and I kind of want it done soon. So to me, that's a good lead. To a lot of people who at they have been getting rejection for so long, then let me punch it in my little calculator. Yeah, that's going to be $7,000 to $9,000. Well, that's just a little bit too much out of my range. I'll just call the next person who can come out here and educate me a little bit. The reality is, the next person might go in and sell them a $10,000, $20,000 deck on financing with a bigger space when they can utilize their space even more. You lose money before you even enter the ring. Twofold to this is the first has to do with sale process, right? How tight your sale process is. But if you can't even handle the lead right, let's just handle the lead right first. Nobody go to a buyer school. I didn't wake up knowing how much a new house costs. I didn't wake up knowing what a linear feet of railing costs. My price impression is what I read online years ago, or what my cousins say they pay for that years ago, or what the neighbor paid for their shitty deck 5 years ago. People have the price impression in their head that is not done by the professional, which is the deck builder. So, in my opinion, why don't we take the time to go out there and educate people, realign their price impression, sell them what you need to sell them, bring true salesmanship to the game and scale that way. The qualifying game, that's a marketing game, right? The qualifying game, they're getting the right lead to the table, widen up the funnel. That's a marketing game. Sales job is to sell. Sales job is to realign people impression. If they think that cost 10,000 but it's truly cost 15, that's your job to sell them at 15. It's not marketing job to make them think it's a 15, that is 15 right off the get-go, right? We can do a lot of that to our marketing message, but I think there's a unrivaled advantage in home sale, one-to-one sales, face-to-face sales, because you can come up with an objection and I will be able to address it right then and there, or I can let them sit with their problem for a little bit, but knowing that I have built such a relational equity to where my follow-up messaging doesn't feel like I'm an asshole, thinking about you. Have you made a decision on your project yet? I just saw this deck. I just thought of you. Deck, let me send a cost versus value report. Deck is one of the, highest maintenance item that you can take care of by going with the composite deck. So you can hit them with value, value, value. So I would die on this hill that even now with all these AI setter that coming out, all these AI pre-qualifier coming out, I would die on this hill that in-home sale is even become more of a sought after skill, which is flow right into my next point is having a documented sale process. And it doesn't have to be high pressure or anything like that. If anybody doing more than 500,000 a year, you have a sale process. You might not have it written down, but you have a sales process. You have some sort of a way to send people bids, right? You have some sort of way of following up with people, right? I hope all those need to document out, and then from then we can know what your true close rate is, and then we can start tweaking it a little bit. But if you want to scale, you better learn how to convert the lead you already have. So we talked about good lead intake, speed to lead, high ticket sale. And then the next one is when talk about high ticket sale, anybody can sell a 20,000 deck for 17,000. Can you sell a $20,000 deck at a 45 to 50% gross profit margin to where you can net 20 and 25, sometimes 30%, depending on the stage of business you are at, to take that money, parlay it back into marketing and do it all over again. That's how scaling is done. It's not about discount, 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 and then you ended up with a job at 30% gross profit. After everything's said and done, you ended up with 5% net profit. Correct me if I'm wrong. A lot of contractor, come time December, they thought they make a lot of money. They did a lot of sales, but their bank account is we don't even want to look at them. And then you start the cycle over again. Can't get out the rut because part of the reason is you sell at a low margin and you lose money on production. You get marketing message down, you get your sales process down. Well, how can I get one of those easy sales one of those referrals that you always talk about, one of those like deal that you just go in, you walk out with a $50,000 check later on. How can we get more of those, right? In an environment to where there's 30 deck builders, to where there's these 30 landscaper, to where there is 30 roofer. Brand or client experience is the only thing that's going to set you apart, right? So you have to build your brand. Let me dumb it down a little bit for you. You have to build your reputation. You have to get your name out there. You have to do good work. You have to make your work speak for itself. Not, but your work can't speak for itself. You have to speak for your work, right? So the concept is this: you spend, let's say, $1,000 to get a client, right? And from those clients, you make, let's say, $5,000 in gross profit. How can we get that one client to bring you either to do two things, to either buy from you again? So if they buy from you again, right, that 1,000 become, instead of getting 5,000, it get you 10,000. What if they bring you one more person, so that 1,000 bring you 5, 10, 15,000 in gross profit? Okay, now what if that client over the course of their lifetime, uh, they buy from you twice? Maybe you run a siding and a siding, roofing, and windows. Maybe they buy from you twice. Maybe their cousin, maybe their neighbor, maybe they're somebody at church. So our goal is to make one lead, one deal, shit out 5 deals over the course of their lifetime. So $1 of marketing spend is maximized through repeat and referral business. But how you get the repeat and referral business? Doing good work is a default. It's not even a competitive advantage anymore. That's a default. You have to do good work. And no, your work doesn't speak for itself. Sorry to brush your bubble. You have to do good work, and that is the minimum, right? The minimum, and that's include when somebody call you, hey, Lauren, something fucked up over here. There is a thing called speed to the recovery. It's called service recovery, and inside that service recovery, it's the same thing on sales, but now you're selling your reputation. You have to speedily address those problems, so then they don't become a liability, right? And most people overlook this, but we specifically have a department for callback. People call, we respond to right away, and to outright respond, we might pick up an opportunity or two to sell them an extra thing. Or if they haven't inserted a review yet, you can ask them for an honest review. See, hey, you just know that we come back and we did all this. would you care to tell people now about the experience and how come back and would fix the mistake? And those review um, have make us more money than the one that is perfect, polished, and things like that. So that's a little actionable tip for you. Call your client, your ex-client back, and then ask if there's anything that you can help them do that, or have they been enjoying their project. And you might have to go out and fix a little thing, but I promise you the brand equity is going to grow tremendously. So speed to service, we're going to talk about client experience. So the good work already, client experience is, I have one principle. If people have to call you to ask where are they at in the process, you fail. If they have to call you and say, am I on schedule, you fail. When are you starting my project, you fail. Are they going to come back to to do some touch up, you fail. So I think about client experience, and this is the where the real juice happen, is where the real business building happen. I'm telling you, sales and marketing, that's the easy stuff. The stuff that is gonna make your business grow tremendously, explosively, is the word of mouth, is the client experience, is making other people talk about your business when you're not in the room. So what do I mean by that is how your experience with people, right? So pre-construction, when the deal sold, do anybody call and welcome them? And do you set up a pre-construction meeting with them? And in the pre-construction meeting, do you do upsell? Do you upsell? You teach your PM to upsell so they can get more value for a little bit of money, of course, more value out of your interaction. You do door hangers and put out your side to try to maximize that opportunity. Okay, so that's just pre-construction, right? Okay, during construction, do you check in with your client? You send them pictures. You have a portal for them to go check in. Or you just like, they don't need to know about anything. They just don't care, you know. And I've never heard a client bitch about being over communicated. The more, the merrier. And if you are savvy, you can use technology for some of this, right? So on the front end, you can have a calendar reminder for sales rep and people to help with cancellation rate and to help show rate. On the pre-construction, you can have some sort of a project management software to send automatic messages when permit is being uh, submitted, when permit is being approved. It's just a click of a button, right? And then, okay, so now you get to the part that where everybody spending most of their time at, when it's the building. The key of scaling is getting somebody to do the building for you, right? Getting somebody to do the building for you. The buildings part is only 15 to 20% of the game. Okay, now the juicy part of post construction, what you do? You just let the crew say, "Oh, we're done." Send an invoice and hope they pay. I promise you, if you do that, you have a collection problem. You can't collect. And I'll tell you why you can't collect. You didn't bring closure to the job. You didn't close the job out properly. So one little tidbit that I can give you is have a final walkthrough to where you can collect reviews. You can ask for referrals. You can catch any problem before they become problem. Maybe so and so being mean to the homeowner, whatever. Maybe they park in their driveway unauthorized. So all of this, you gather these feedback, and you make your team better, right? And having this walkthrough, what it does help is it help what to do in case that the job is not perfect to the homeowner. So then you can come to a consensus. Okay, maybe we need to go hit this, and this. Okay, then you can hold the sub crew or the labor crew accountable. Go back and fix these things because before you too far gone long on the next job. Boom, done. Sign off, done. And now with that sign off, you know what you can do? You can lean motherfuckers if they don't pay. And that's how you collect. You
Mm.
write in the contract a payment is due up on the sign off form is being completed or up on the work completed. And once you get that sign off form saying that all work's being completed to the contractual obligation, you are now free to collect. You can send invoice, you can call people, say, hey, it seemed like we got your job done. Wondering when I can pick up a check. Wondering when you can pay. You dare do that a few times, and then you move on. Send the intent to lien, and then actually leaning their house. You wouldn't believe how fast people move when they get that notice. To be able to do that, you have to get your shit in order. So we talk about all the way from sales, pre-construction, doing construction, post-construction. And another thing that we have started implementing is we have somebody on from the office do a closeout call. And just a few questions that we ask. Hey, who can we give a shout out in our team meeting for your project? Is there anybody worth mentioning in the name? What can we do better? How can we serve our future client better? And you can be utmost honest in this interaction. And the reason why we have somebody in the office is because they haven't worked with this person. They haven't worked with the PM. They will haven't worked with the crew. And sometimes the PM will put in a note say, "Oh, client is super happy. Client is super happy." Now, you think about that for a second. Do they want to put if clients are not happy for their boss to see? So you have to have somebody else. And then that's the true feedback. So, oh shit, we still have material out there.
Mm.
Hey, you need to go pick that up now. Hey,
Mm.
you still have that open item that we need to do, but you already collected money. Hey, we need to go. So having that as a last catch-all, that's gonna like, because now you can still fix the problem. You can still turn the frown upside down. You can still, service recovery, do whatever it is that it needs to do to turn that into a five-star experience. Then after that, we think about after you collect the check, after the closeout call, what's next? Is the client done? The answer is no, they're not done because they still gonna have party on that deck. They're gonna have party on that kitchen. So what you want to do is you want to get in their game room. You want to get inside their community, and you do that by sending them quarterly gifts, just so they're fresh on top of their mind, and just so people can talk about you without even you necessitate a conversation, without it being a tit for tat, because now you had already given value, you had already sent a whiskey mixer set or whatever. So now every time they do that, they remember you. So you want to live in people's brain, right? So that's how scaling is done. You monetize. I shouldn't say monetize. You own the right attention, because there's a lot of attention you can buy. You can buy ad, you can buy this, but owning your client attention, law of social proof, law of reciprocity,
Mhm.
law of authority. There's a lot of law influences that being done before you even meet the referrals. That's why people love referrals, because the sale is already done.
Yeah.
Now it's just a matter of figuring out the money to see if we can even be in the ballpark. So having that, maximize that interaction is going to give you an opportunity to ask for that referral when it comes time. It's going to give you an opportunity to ask for that repeat business. I noticed you get a deck done with us. We actually running a special on siding right now for our existing client. It's not much, but it helps, and a little bit help. Little 500 for your next project, and you can pass this 500 on to your son, your daughter, whoever it is that interested. But this deal is only for our past client, for our existing client. So you see how that's translate into not being salesy at all. You're just helping people, realizing their next dreams. So that's how you turn one. That's how you maximize your marketing funnel. And yes, on the final walkthrough, write in your contract that payment is due upon receipt of the final invoice, and that will give you power to collect right then. You will never get a bad review for collecting because people are too embarrassed to say that. Oh, he won his money too soon. La 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 la. People like basically in writing that review, they're calling themselves broke. So be obsessive about your money, about your cash flow. And then having that close, that final walkthrough, I like we didn't do it the first 3 years of business.
Mm.
I would highly recommend you do it if you can, because it just serves so many purpose. Uh, in like if they do have a callback later, then you can be like, you just signed it and say everything is fine, right? So you want those callbacks to actually be callback, not just like, okay, this time you come and fix this, but next time, well, something else go wrong that that they just now found out. So it's gonna drag on if you don't close the job out properly. Not a lot of people talk about that that part, but I think it need to be talked more on how to collect. So we offer financing in the year that I did $5 million. Just halfway to the years after I take a sales training, and I realized there is a gap of my game, which is like I can't find the fucking money for people. I can't solve the money objection. If they gotta go look for the money, I don't have a way to solve that for them. And we started using it, but that first year was just like as needed, right? Like you say, you need financing. Here's what we have. So the second year we started, doing it a little bit better. We start introducing it a little bit earlier in the sale process, but it's not early enough. Last year we did some financing, but this year we really embrace the financing aspect of it. There's a few things that we did differently. Is we start talking about it in our marketing. Hey, get your new deck for $0 down for 12 months, blah blah blah, whatever the offer is, right? And we run it as an offer. We run the ads as an offer, and we get the people that who click on that ad, who fill out the information. They want financing, so they're already somewhat pre-qualified. Talk about pre-qualifying, right? They're already somewhat pre-qualified. And then in the lead setting stages, we actually talk about it a little bit more. But it's like you planting a seed, you water it, right? You
Yeah.
water it. You
Mhm.
talk about, hey, at the appointment, we will talk about some of our 0% promotional offer. And at the end, if everything makes sense, we'll go ahead and get you on our production calendar, soft close,
Yeah.
pre-close, right? And that's happened at the appointment setting. In the beginning of the appointment, sales guy doing the same thing. Hey, today we're gonna go over some design, some material selection. We're gonna take some measurement, come up with this design that we both that you can both be happy with. Come up with a proposal in a investment that we can both win. Throughout that, we're going to talk about some of our raving fan program, some of
Okay.
our promotional 0% offer, not financing, promotional offer. And at the end, if everything makes sense, go ahead and get you on our production candidate again, not a pre-close. All right. And then you just keep going. And then later on, when you add when they ask you, hey, when you're presenting the price and the investment, all that, hey, but did you talk about? I heard about something about 0%. Boom, you sign them up. You sign them up, get the information, sign them up, go to the loan process. At this point, they're done. They are done. Let me start by saying this: price is never an issue why people buy or won't buy, and we've been consistently raising price. So if you worry about the price, I want you to take that out of your mind. If you are going to use financing, I just go ahead and add 10% to your price, because you're gonna have Some program you're gonna pay no dealer fee. Some program you're gonna pay 2%. Some program you're gonna pay 8%. Some program you're gonna pay 7%. Some program you're gonna pay 6%. But the program that convert a lot is gonna be 0% for 12 months, and then no payment for 12 months. Historically, that's our best program because it's built like that. So you're already paying 3 something percent, almost 4% for credit card fee. What's another 3%, right? You take credit card right now, you only need to raise it 3 more percent. But my point is just go ahead and raise it 10% because people will pay more. Go ahead and raise your price. The no always work the best. And that's the part of the reason why last year we didn't push that a lot, because I was worried that the dealer fee is going to kill me, but no, it didn't. We just raised the price and people still buy. Somebody paying 20,000, they're going to pay 22. We have both sides of the fence. Is Improve is one of the guy in the community. Christopher Scoville, he's good at that. And the company that he brokered through actually is in my hometown. It's a slide through First National Bank. First National Bank of Omaha. They're incredible. And the other side is One and Fun, which in their arsenal there's upgrade and watercraft financing. Upgrade is where the true no lead lives, and they have about I think maybe 8.25 dealer fee. Like I say, if you add 10% and push the no, I think it's going to be a net positive for whoever try that. And then there's more lender too, but those lender I like them because they buy down the rate, so it's not so like 20% to the client, right? Even if they didn't pick the no, they picked like a 9.99 or something. It's a still single digit interest. You have to shoulder some of that in the dealer fee, but make sure you accounted for it. That's why I say just go ahead and raise price 10%. If you don't ended up using financing, who gives a fuck? It's more money in your bottom line. But if you do actually use financing, then you're going to score more job, get a lot more profit, and be able to grow and scale your company. So you want to know who's good and who's better? Look for closed loop financing. I think the first and foremost, and this had nothing to do with sales. It has to do with your business model, which is the pricing model. To have a sale process is profitable, your job has to be profitable. So having a pricing model where you can price single trade in an instant is one of the biggest difference maker in training somebody how to do sales. Like with the pricing model that I have, I can pick somebody off the street and be able to train them how to sell a deck in a month. So having a clear, articulated pricing model for your sales process is the number one differentiator. Number two, having money. Because what's the biggest objection? Money. Having financing is the second. And third, and these are not first, second, and third. They all play the same point: speed. If you slow, think of a market that have two of me. One of them is going to get 40%, the other one's get 45, and the 15% straggler, the tie kicker that you think about, those are left over. First to the table, get your belly full. Don't listen to all these coaches say, "Oh, you want to be the last to come in that kind of negotiate." No, you don't have nothing to negotiate. When I took that deal off the table, be quick, have a pricing model, have solve people money, solve people problems. If I were to pick three things to work on the sale process, I would pick those three things. If you do your marketing message right, you should only be getting people that are highly qualified to do business with you. One lender should be good enough, but in instances where you have to go to multiple lender, and that does happen. Be available if you want to have a business. Have the money if you want to solve people problem, and collect fast if you want to scale and grow and sell at a high margin. So don't think too much about it. Go execute. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. If you find this episode helpful or if it changed your life in a positive way in any manner, please share with another friend, tell another friend about this podcast. Again, thank you. Until next time.